bike has, let's just say, it was covered with mud. It was like impacted in mud. And I had noticed that they ride on this motorcycle with, it's like a paint pen. Some people spray paint on them, but whenever they go through their thing, whenever they make it through the auction, whenever the impound gets the motorcycle after whatever happens to it, it has some things written on it. And I had to get out there with the pressure washer and start pressure washing this motorcycle off. And it's start pressure washing mud and blood and bits of human tissue and what have you. And on the side cover of this motorcycle, a part of it that they had to, like scrape off so that they could write this, it just said death, and it said the date. And I went back and I looked at what had happened on that date, and the gentleman on that motorcycle was going over the Beltway 8 bridge, going over the ship channel right over there at I-10 and Beltway 8. And he clipped the side rail, and he went over the side rail, and he made it almost to the water, but he didn't land in the water. He landed in the bank, like right there of the water in the mud. And yeah, it killed him instantly. So yeah, whenever I cleaned that bike, washed it off, I sold the engine off of it, put it into another motorcycle. I mean, that's one instance. That bike, there's something that could have been prevented to keep that young man from dying. I hate to have to take his motorcycle and do that to it. Well, I got another little story about riding wheelies on your motorcycle, something that you might not know. It's fun to ride a wheelie. We all know that it's fun to jack that son of a bitch up and hang you a couple gears. It's a blast. But what you might not know, guys, especially at nighttime, because I know me and my clique, what's up, Boomer? We used to ride a lot of wheelies pretty much everywhere we went. Man, more him than me. He's a really wheelie riding son of a gun right there, buddy. And if you know him, you know what I'm saying. A Honda RC51 was rolling down Preston. No, it was rolling down Edgebrook. No, it was Fairmont in Pasadena. He says he wants to ride him a wheelie. It's nighttime. It's only 8 or 9 o'clock at night. He's riding a wheelie going, he's, keeping the front end up, so he's not going slow. He's going probably 50, 60 miles an hour. And a lady in a big crew cab dually, well, she pulls right out in front of him. And he T-bones her. He T-bones her right into the side of her pickup truck. And I don't know about you guys, but every RC51 Honda that I've seen that's been in a heavy collision like that is burned all the way to the ground. So yeah, the bike hit the truck in a wheelie right between the cab and where the dually wheels are and stuff, and just disintegrated, burst into flames, and killed that cat. Well, what happened that night, guys, is this. Whenever you look both ways to see if there are any headlights coming, right? Well, guess what? You don't see a motorcycle's headlight if it's pointing up at the sky. When you're riding a wheelie, your headlight's pointing up at the sky, and the oncoming traffic doesn't see you at all. You're not even a black speck there. So she didn't see anything. She didn't mean to kill anyone. That young lady didn't mean to kill anyone that night. She didn't see anyone coming. And then whenever you're coming at a high rate of speed too, and people don't see you to boot, that's just a recipe for disaster. Another thing, man, people, not only are you, if you do have safety equipment and you're adamant about wearing it, you've got to upgrade that stuff. You've got to replace it. It doesn't last forever. See, I was looking at my Kevlar jacket. I've got it's all carbon fiber and Kevlar, and you can wear it in the summertime. It's breathable. Wear it in the wintertime, but it has the Kevlar pads that go on your elbows, they go on your back, they go down around your butt bone, and they go on your forearms. And it's all these big Kevlar pads. They're not heavy or anything, But what they do is they're going to protect you against road rash and also against collisions. Definitely more to the road rash-ish. They're not going to keep you from getting your arm snapped in half, but they're definitely going to help you with any kind of, heavy-duty action whenever it comes to you hitting pavement or you hitting any kind of other object whenever you're rolling out on your motorcycle. So the point, I was looking at my Kevlar jacket, and I realize it's 10 years old now, so it's past the age limit. Your jacket, your helmets and stuff, 6 or 7 years, even if you take real good care of your stuff, the inside of it, the threading and everything starts to deteriorate, right? That long word? So your threading and all of that kind of stuff is not made to last forever. And, like I put on that, $600 for a Suami helmet. You think that's expensive? When's the last time that you priced brain surgery, right? So my Kevlar jacket, I did notice though that the pad in the back of it had a chunk missing out of it. And I was like, wow, there's like a chunk missing out of this skid plate that goes in my jacket. And I got to thinking, and so wear your safety equipment, because I did have my helmet and my jacket. I didn't have on gloves, but I had on boots. When I was sitting at a red light, 2 blocks away from where I worked, I leave my job at Houston Cycle. I went to 2 blocks away. This is at the time. I don't work there now, but they're awesome people. What's up, Tigger? And I rode my motorcycle from Houston Cycle that happened to the motorcycle was only 1 month old, 2 blocks away to get a can of Copenhagen. I got me a dip, put my helmet back on, got back on my bike, and went up to the red light. The red light turned green. The Lincoln Navigator hit me from behind. And it shot me 30 feet through the air. I hit a telephone pole light pole. It spun me around. It made my bike look like a pretzel. The seat was standing straight up, and the taillight was standing straight up, and the swing arm was bent way over to the left. So the reason that I brought that up is the chunk missing out of my Kevlar jacket was whenever I got hit. Well, I flipped, and whenever I flipped over and I hit a telephone pole or that light pole with my back, and that took a little bit of a chunk out of that jacket, but it probably would have taken my damn left shoulder off my body, if I had not had on a jacket. And, the fact, too, it's a blessing that I also had on a helmet, because I got up from that crash. From that, the bike was gone. The bike's totaled. 2 seconds, bam, it's fucked. I rebuilt it. I brought it back to life, but I was able to stand up, go over to the gentleman that was in that Lincoln Navigator, took his phone away from him first and used it, told him, I'm using your phone. I called the 911 and told him, there's an accident. And then I said, now you're going to help me pick my fucking bike up and get it out of the middle of the road. And he did. He picked up the back of it, and I pushed the front, and we drug it over off to the side of the road. So wear your helmet, man. Fuck. Life is too short. And, all of those smiles that you got on your face going down the road thinking other people are looking at you, they're not. They think that you're an idiot. And I'm speaking for just about every fucking person out there that thinks that anyone wearing a helmet, anyone not wearing a helmet is basically, everyone around you doesn't want to kill you either. They'd rather see, at least if they run over your dumb ass, you got a chance of living, okay? And let me tell you, just talking about junk like that, talking about people not wearing their helmets, I'll tell you a little story about Warren, a friend of mine from LaPorte, Texas. Well, Warren's mom brings me a Harley-Davidson V-Rod, anniversary edition. It needed a tune-up. It hadn't been driven in maybe a year. And I was like, Bike had been laid down on the left side. I had to replace a few things on it. The hand grip, one of the left turn signal, the one of the side pieces, maybe the shifter or something like that. So I got it all back together. I got it running, and I'm saying Warren's mom, I don't know her name, but Warren's mom came back up there to check on the motorcycle or whatever, and she said, well, do you mind if you just ride the bike over to Warren's, and we'll get him to write a check out for what he owes you? And I'm like, hey, that's cool. I said, why isn't Warren here? And she said, well, Warren just now got to where he could even sign a check for himself. He's just now living back in his house by himself. And I said, whoa, what's up? I said, this bike is not really hurt. What happened? And she told me, she said, Warren decided to go riding with some friends. A very good motorcycle rider. This is not his only motorcycle, and it happens to be a pretty nasty motorcycle to ride, if you know what a V-Rod is. Pardon me, guys, I had to get a sip of Fiji water. Oh, yeah. So Warren went for a motorcycle ride with his buddies. The guy in front of him, okay, let me get this right. The guy in front of him laid his bike down. Warren swerves, right, to miss him, and he laid his bike down. He fell off of his bike. Well, the gentleman behind Warren ran right over Warren's head with his motorcycle, just like a speed bump. So, yeah, Warren is, I pray that he's riding again now. That's been 8 or 9 years ago. But, yeah, that was a year after that accident. Warren was just now able to, sign his own checks. So there you go, man. One sunny afternoon, having a badass fun ride with your friends could turn into a year worth of rehabilitation before you can even sign your own motherfucking check. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to be the person riding behind you when you fall off your bike and I run over your fucking head. How do you think that guy feels? You can't just think about you. That's the asshole part of it. Is not thinking about all of the people around you that you're affecting. You know damn well that people in cars can't see motorcycles anyway. Period. They're ghosts out there. Cages do not see bikes. Cages don't see motorcycles. We know this. And if you don't know this, now you know. Cars do not see you when you're riding out there. You're going to have all the neons and flashing lights and sirens and loud pipes. And that's why you see all these amazing things on motorcycles. When somebody has a bike and it by you, that's not them trying to be annoying. There's an old biker saying that says loud pipes save lives. And that's a fact. If you see it, you might not run into it. So yeah, pet peeves, is it just me? Or does it get on other people's nerves? When people wear flip-flops. Flip-flops, man. The next time you're rolling down the highway and you're on a pair of flip-flops, stick your foot down to the road. Just stick your toe to the road one time and see if you're going to lose probably a toe. It's not going to feel good. And you're definitely going to lose your flimsy ass flip-flop. You're definitely going to lose your flimsy ass flip-flop. Wacky waving inflatable arling whacking waving flailing inflatable arling goodness, man. Oh, so yeah, no helmet. And I see this a lot too. A passenger with no helmet. Now, come on, man. You're going to put that girl's life in danger like that? Because I can tell you right now that I did see rolling into Holiday Lakes late one evening. Well, it was about 10 o'clock at night. I went up there to the little convenience store. Walk out of the convenience store and I heard this damn rattle trap ass bike. And I look up there, right? And I see it's like a crotch rocket. And it's like sputtering by. And it's a dude with no helmet. It's a chick, a young lady, like a 19-year-old girl on the back with no helmet. And the damn bike sounded like the chain was just fixing to fly off of it any second. And let me tell you something, I know these things. I am the motorcycle whisperer. Let me tell you something. I